What if I told you that beneath one of America's most beautiful national parks lies a ticking time bomb, a supervolcano capable of burying the entire continent in ash, triggering a global winter and starving billions, and that it is already 640,000 years overdue? Scientists monitor it every single day. Seismic sensors, GPS measurements, gas emissions. They are not watching to see if it will erupt. They are watching to see when. Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. You have probably seen pictures, geysers, hot springs, bison roaming through valleys, Old Faithful shooting water into the air like clockwork. It is beautiful, peaceful, a postcard of American wilderness. But underneath that beauty is something ancient, violent, and inevitable, a supervolcano. Most people do not know what that means. A supervolcano is not like a normal volcano. Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980. It was catastrophic. 57 people died. Ash covered 3 states. It was one of the worst volcanic disasters in US history. Yellowstone is 1,000 times more powerful. When Yellowstone erupts, not if, but when, it will not just affect Wyoming. It will not just affect the West. It will bury the Midwest in feet of ash. It will blanket the East Coast. It will choke the skies, and it will trigger a volcanic winter that could last for years. Harvests will fail. Globally, famine will spread. Billions of people will be at risk. But here is what nobody wants to talk about. The Yellowstone Supervolcano has erupted 3 times in the last 2.1 million years. The eruptions follow a pattern. Roughly every 600,000 to 800,000 years. The last eruption was 640,000 years ago. By geological standards, Yellowstone is overdue. Now, overdue does not mean it will erupt tomorrow. Geological timescales are not like train schedules. An eruption could happen in 1,000 years, or 10,000, or it could happen next week. Nobody knows. What we do know is this: the magma chamber beneath Yellowstone is massive, 55 kilometers long, 20 kilometers wide, 8 to 15 kilometers deep. It is full of molten rock. And it is active. The ground above it rises and falls. Scientists call it breathing. The caldera, the volcanic crater, inflates and deflates as magma moves beneath the surface. Sometimes the ground rises several inches in a year. Other times it sinks. Earthquakes happen constantly. Yellowstone experiences between 1,000 and 3,000 earthquakes every year. Most are minor, magnitude 2 or 3. You would not even feel them, but occasionally larger swarms occur. In 2017, over 2,300 earthquakes hit Yellowstone in a single summer. People panicked. Is it going to erupt? Is this the warning? Scientists said no. Earthquake swarms are normal at Yellowstone. The magma chamber is restless, always shifting. But restless does not mean erupting, not yet. But what nobody can predict is when restless becomes catastrophic, because when a supervolcano erupts, there is no stopping it. Imagine this: you are living in Bozeman, Montana, or Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or Denver, Colorado. You wake up one morning and the news is everywhere. Yellowstone is erupting, not a small eruption, not lava flows, a full supervolcanic explosion. The magma chamber breaches. Pressure that has been building for hundreds of thousands of years releases in an instant. The explosion is unimaginable. A column of ash and gas shoots 20 miles into the stratosphere. Pyroclastic flows, superheated clouds of gas and rock traveling over 100 miles per hour, obliterate everything within hundreds of miles. Yellowstone National Park is gone, vaporized. The towns surrounding it, West Yellowstone, Gardner, Cody, erased. Within minutes, everything within a 100-mile radius is buried under pyroclastic material. But that is just the beginning. The ash cloud spreads. Within hours, it covers Wyoming and Montana. Within a day, it reaches the Dakotas. Within 2 days, it blankets the Midwest. Inches of ash, feet in some areas, heavy, abrasive, toxic. Roofs collapse under the weight. Cars are buried. Roads become impassable. The ash is fine, like powder, and it gets into everything. Lungs, engines, water supplies. It shorts out electrical systems. Power grids fail. Communications go dark. And this is still just North America. The ash continues spreading. Within a week, the entire northern hemisphere is under a haze. The ash cloud circles the globe, and then the temperature starts to drop. Volcanic winter. The ash in the stratosphere blocks sunlight. Temperatures plummet. 5 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees, 15 in some regions. Growing seasons collapse. Crops that were weeks from harvest freeze, die, rot in the fields. The Midwest, America's breadbasket, is buried. The Great Plains, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, all under ash. No crops, no food production. Within months, global food supplies start to run out. Grain reserves are depleted, livestock die, starvation begins, and it does not stop because volcanic winters can last for years. The ash stays in the atmosphere, blocking the sun, cooling the planet. Harvests fail again and again. Famine spreads, governments collapse, mass migrations, billions of people scrambling for food that does not exist. This is not science fiction. This is what a Yellowstone eruption would look like, and it has happened before. 640,000 years ago, 1.3 million years ago, 2.1 million years ago. Each time, the eruption reshaped the continent. Each time, it caused mass extinctions. Each time, the planet took decades, sometimes centuries, to recover. And it will happen again. The only question is when. Welcome to If History Repeats. Today we are not looking at the past. We are looking at the future, at the Yellowstone Supervolcano, at the threat that scientists monitor every single day. And we are asking, what if it erupted today? Are we prepared? Or are we ignoring the warning signs? Just like we have ignored warnings throughout history. And here is the promise I will keep by the end of this video. I will tell you exactly what scientists are watching for, the signs that an eruption is coming, and whether we would have enough time to do anything about it. If you are watching this, please subscribe. Every episode of If History Repeats explores moments when warnings were ignored and the disasters that followed. And today, we are asking whether we are ignoring a warning right now. So let's talk about what Yellowstone actually is. Yellowstone is not a mountain, it is a caldera, a massive volcanic crater formed by a collapsed magma chamber. The caldera is roughly 55 kilometers by 72 kilometers. You can stand in the middle of it and not even realize you are inside a volcano, but you are. Beneath the caldera is a hotspot, a plume of superheated magma rising from deep within the Earth's mantle. This hotspot has been there for millions of years, and it is not going anywhere. The North American tectonic plate, however, is moving, slowly, southwest. Over millions of years, the plate has drifted over the hotspot, and every time the magma pressure builds enough, it erupts. The first major eruption was 2.1 million years ago. It created the Huckleberry Ridge caldera. The eruption ejected 2,450 cubic kilometers of material. Ash covered most of North America. The second eruption was 1.3 million years ago, the Mesa Falls eruption, slightly smaller, 280 cubic kilometers, still catastrophic. The third eruption was 640,000 years ago, the Lava Creek eruption, 1,000 cubic kilometers of material. This is the eruption that created the current Yellowstone caldera, the one tourists visit today. Each eruption followed a pattern. Magma accumulates, pressure builds. Eventually, the crust cannot hold it anymore. It fractures, and the magma explodes to the surface. The pattern suggests another eruption is coming, but when? This is where it gets complicated. Geologists monitor Yellowstone constantly. The USGS, The United States Geological Survey operates the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory. They track everything: seismicity, earthquakes, thousands every year. Most are normal, the magma chamber shifting, hydrothermal fluids moving, but scientists watch for patterns, swarms of earthquakes in specific locations, increasing magnitude. These could signal magma moving upward. Ground deformation. The caldera breathes. GPS sensors measure how much the ground rises or falls. Between 2004 and 2010, the ground rose nearly 3 inches per year. Then it stopped, started sinking, then rose again. This is normal, but rapid, sustained uplift could indicate magma accumulation. Gas emissions, hydrothermal features, geysers, hot springs, fumaroles, release gases, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, helium. Scientists measure the ratios. Changes in gas composition can signal magma moving closer to the surface. So far, everything is normal, but normal at a supervolcano is still unsettling, because here is what nobody can predict: how much warning we would have. In some volcanic eruptions, there are clear precursors. Weeks or months of increasing seismic activity, ground deformation accelerating, gas emissions spiking. Scientists can see it coming. But supervolcanoes are different. The magma chamber is so large that small changes are hard to detect, and the eruption itself could be triggered suddenly. A fracture in the crust, a pressure spike, an earthquake that destabilizes the system. Scientists estimate that if Yellowstone were going to erupt, we might have days to weeks of warning. Not months, not years, days. And what would we do with that time? Evacuate Wyoming, Montana, Idaho? Where would millions of people go? How would you move them? The infrastructure does not exist. The roads cannot handle it. And once the eruption starts, it is too late. The blast zone would be obliterated in minutes. The ashfall would ground all air travel within hours. Highways would become impossible within a day. There is no realistic evacuation plan for a Yellowstone eruption, and even if people escape the initial blast, the long-term consequences are inescapable. The volcanic winter, the crop failures, the famine. Nobody is prepared for that. Governments have some emergency food reserves, but not enough for years of failed harvests. Not enough for billions of people. And here is the thing that keeps scientists awake at night. A Yellowstone eruption is not the only existential threat we face. Asteroid impacts, pandemics, climate tipping points, solar flares. Humanity has built a fragile civilization. We rely on global supply chains, just-in-time food production, centralized infrastructure. One major disruption, like a supervolcano, and the entire system collapses. But we do not plan for it, because it feels distant, unlikely. Something that might happen in 1,000 years, or 10,000. But what if it happens in our lifetime? The Yellowstone Supervolcano will erupt again. That is not speculation, that is geology. The only question is when, and whether we will be ready. So here is the answer to the promise I made at the beginning. What are scientists watching for? What are the signs that Yellowstone is about to erupt? There are 3 main indicators. First, a dramatic increase in seismic activity. Not just more earthquakes, but earthquakes in patterns that suggest magma is moving upward. Swarms concentrated in specific areas, increasing in magnitude over days or weeks. If scientists see this, it is a warning. Second, rapid ground deformation. If the caldera starts rising several inches per month, not per year, it means magma is accumulating fast. If the uplift accelerates, it could signal an impending eruption. Third, changes in gas emissions. If the composition of gases released by hydrothermal features shifts dramatically, especially an increase in sulfur dioxide or a spike in seismic tremor associated with magma movement, it is a red flag. If all 3 happen simultaneously, Scientists would issue warnings. Evacuations would be recommended. Emergency protocols would activate. But here is the hard truth. Even with all the monitoring, even with all the technology, even with warnings, we cannot stop a supervolcano. We can only watch it happen and hope that it does not happen in our lifetime, because the devastation would be unlike anything humanity has faced in recorded history. The initial blast, the ashfall, the infrastructure collapse, the volcanic winter, the famine, billions of people at risk, governments destabilized, civilization as we know it disrupted for years. This is not fear-mongering, this is geology. Yellowstone has erupted before, it will erupt again. The pattern is clear, but what nobody can tell you is when. If you made it this far, thank you. Yellowstone is a supervolcano, one of the largest on Earth. It sits beneath one of America's most beautiful national parks. It has erupted 3 times in the last 2.1 million years. The last eruption was 640,000 years ago. Scientists monitor it constantly. Seismic activity, ground deformation, gas emissions. They know it will erupt again. The question is not if, it is when. If it erupted today, the initial blast would obliterate everything within hundreds of miles. Ash would blanket North America. The Midwest would be buried. Infrastructure would collapse. And the ash cloud would circle the globe, triggering a volcanic winter that could last for years. Harvests would fail. Famine would spread. Billions would be at risk. We cannot stop it. We can only prepare. And right now, we are not prepared. Share this with someone who refuses to look away. Next episode, the 1950s. A new drug is introduced in Europe, thalidomide. It is marketed as a safe sedative, completely harmless. Doctors prescribe it to pregnant women to treat morning sickness. The pharmaceutical company says it is safe, no side effects, perfectly fine for expectant mothers, but nobody tested it on pregnant women. And within months, babies start being born with severe birth defects, missing limbs, shortened arms and legs, deformed organs, thousands of children across dozens of countries. The company knew. Internal documents would later reveal that they had warnings, reports of side effects, but they dismissed them, suppressed them, kept selling the drug. By the time thalidomide was pulled from the market, over 10,000 children had been born with disabilities. Thousands more died. And the worst part? It was entirely preventable. The thalidomide scandal. When a drug company prioritized profit over safety, when warnings were ignored, and when thousands of families paid the price. I am if history repeats. And history always has something to say.